All right, I had a good day today. 5 trades, 4 winners, 1 loser. 4 of the trades were on Uber, and 3 of those were winners, but I did have the lone loser of the day on Uber. It announced that it was buying Postmates today, so that was the catalyst behind the stock, and they were going to pay for it with stock. So that obviously influenced the price action here and made it independent from SPY, so all good things. At the open, you see it's really weak, and I waited the first 5 minutes like I like to do. This was the 6 minute, so the temptation was to get short here, but I really like that I waited an extra minute just for a little bit more confirmation, because this on good volume through confused, on solid volume, it ended in a confused, meaning it wasn't bullish or bearish. It was kind of like 50-50 split on the volume here. And also through a doji, a bearish doji right here. So anyway, I view this as waiting just a little bit longer for confirmation. I took it short here, and pretty quickly it went in my direction, and I partialed out towards the $32 mark, as you can see. And then I partialed out again because it kind of felt like it was stalling out here. This ad is a hotkey error, so that was a mistake. Luckily, it didn't hurt me too much. Got out again as it continued to stall, and then my last little bit here at break even. So this is a really nice trade for me. Even with the hotkey error, it worked out really well. And then Uber, it kind of looked like that might be it for the day, but then it came back down, and I took a trade on plug in between here, which I'll show in a minute. But while I was trading plug, I was keeping an eye on Uber, and it broke down through the 32 right here, and I took it short again. I jumped back in. This is my one losing trade of the day right here, and it's not a good trade. I got in at 31.91, which for me is a chase. I needed to be closer to that $32 mark to feel good about my entry. So this is not a good trade. This is not my style, but stopped out. But then it did get back up closer to 32 and started coming back down, and I got in at 31.96. 5 cents difference there, but also, which for me is a big deal, for a lot of people it might not be, but on top of that, it was a price action thing. So just seeing how the price action was coming back down made me feel good about it. And we broke through the low of the day here, or we got to the low of the day actually, and we couldn't really break. I mean, we did break by a few cents, but then it kind of came back. And so I started getting skeptical of this as a bearish pattern here, because the momentum, we had broken the low of the day, but only for a few cents, and it was bouncing back pretty quick. So it seemed like the bears were just waiting to get to low of day and getting out of their positions, and the bulls were starting to come in. And the pattern really shows that, because you see the bullish volume is pretty close on a relative basis to what the bearish volume was, and then you throw a hammer here. So this was a one partial of profit and then out at break even on the rest of my shares, as this went from a bearish to a bullish pattern. And then once we crossed over, so this 32.20 mark, yeah, that was a terrible line, but this 32.20 mark right here was important as far as trading goes. You can see how the price action keeps interacting with that. And you can see it here on the 5-minute chart pretty clearly that that's an important level. And once it broke through there on decent volume, I went ahead and took it long, and I really just wanted to get back to VWAP. So this is really just a reversal to VWAP trade. And I actually got out of 80% of my position in one partial right here, because I really just wanted to get back to VWAP. That was the goal. So 80% out there, and then I held a little bit for some more partials in case it broke a little higher. You'll see here again, I had another hotkey error right here. So a couple hotkey errors today, but they didn't cost me too much. So this is another good trade, and my last partial got out here at break even. So those are my trades on Uber, and lastly I had one trade on plug, which looked like this. This one's very true to style. We had nice strong stock here, and then we go up, we get a pullback to an important moving averages, which are the 200 MA on the 1 and the 50 MA on the 5. And on that pullback right at the moving average, I take it long. And my stop out here, I wanted it to hold this 50, but I had VWAP not too far away. So it was going to be if it kind of loses VWAP down here, took my partials towards 10, kept some shares remaining here because there were some asks at this 10-10 level, which was the high of pre-market. So I was hoping that we could get there. It never really happened. So the last bid out at break even. But this is although it wasn't, I didn't have, the staying power wasn't a very patient trade because it really just went up to 10 and then the trend was over. But as far as my entry goes, this is very true to my style. I like a strong push through here. You see it push through on nice candles, and then a good pullback on much lower relative volume. So you see this is the bullish volume for the breakthrough, those moving averages, and then like half that on a relative volume basis. So and then it threw. So I like that. I like that volume price analysis. Push through on strong volume, consolidation to an important moving average on much less volume. Then we threw a hammer. Then I got in. So really love this entry. And that was my day. So I had a solid day. And I hope anyone else out there trading did as well.